now for EEI Late Night with KJ.
KJ Late Night on WEEI, brought to you by Brookline Bank. Thank you so much for hanging out. Cam just wants to be loved.
Your 1 year deal, would you go back?
Yes. Hell yes.
Especially, definitely, with all season, you get all season, you got OT.
Everything. I don't have to. I'm getting tired of changing, bro. I'm at a point in my career, bro. I know way more than I knew last year.
Correct.
Now you give me what you just said.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game.
Okay, not even that. A system with me. You know what I'm saying? Like they know me. Doughboy knows me. Jacoby knows me. Bud knows me. The young tight ends know me. The younger guys that's gonna come in. This is how I can react. Like we're still trying to flush out the 20 years of how it used to be. And I'm going in and I'm not saying, well, that's not me.
Is there a chance you go back to New England?
There's always a chance for everything.
Y'all talking?
I can't say that.
You know I gotta play by half.
Come on,
Oh boy. Thank you so much for hanging out. WEEI and part of the WEEI Sports Radio Network. It's KJ. Yeah, you've probably heard about Cam Newton saying that, yes, he wants another chance in New England. He wants to be Bill's right arm man. Not even right hand, because, I mean, the arm is bad. The right hand, the hand barely handed off. But in Cam's voice, you could hear the sounds of a slowly drowning man when it comes to his NFL starter career. His lifeline, Bill Belichick. Well, according to Ben Volin, earlier today on Greg Hill's show, Cam's a great guy, but
based on the conversations that I had with two different people who have spent time with Belichick, here's what they both said. Belichick genuinely loves Cam Newton. He loves him. He loved his work ethic. He loved everything he brought to the table this year, except there's one big but. His throwing shoulder. He obviously does not have a whole lot left, not a whole lot of juice left in that shoulder.
Yeah. I like that movie, Juice. Tupac was in it. He began his thug life career. Where with this, with no juice in Cam Newton's arm, is the beginning of the backup career. Let's call it what it is. When Cam in that I am athlete podcast said, there's no way there are 32 quarterbacks better than me. Well, some backup quarterbacks are pretty good on some of these pretty good teams. So the number could be closer to like 35, Cam. Look, I've always appreciated what Cam could do with his legs. True story, my daughter's in high school, and she's really into photography at the time. And there is a Carolina versus Atlanta Falcons game where I call a mentor of mine and say, can you get field passes for my daughter to have her shoot? Can you watch after her because she'll have field passes from her high school teacher to shoot photography at this Panthers-Falcons game? Well, my daughter's mom at the time said, there's a lot of people at the stadium and everything. Cam ended up running for like a 70-yard break to the left touchdown. My daughter's been out of high school for almost 10 years. Nothing has changed. The arm hasn't gotten better. The throws downfield haven't gotten better. The hits have been more increased. I remember there was a game with Cam against New Orleans where he's celebrating as he's crossing the end zone. Bam! Helmet-to-helmet shot. I was like, Cam won't be the same. And he really hasn't. The fool's goal of the 15-1 season was, it was a bad division. I think that's the year that the Saints were on punishment for the Greg Williams, call a shot scandal. But still, Cam is doing everything he can to tell Bill, I love you. Please.
Let's go back to this. Like, I sensed a lot of things like that. That wasn't me. I'm not an argumentative person. I'm like, Coach, let's figure it out. Like, and that example that you used, that's what that's a normal day. Like arguing, like boom, 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 and that's the competitive drive. Like that's how they communicate. It's nothing like just for. And this is why I love and respect. I think Bill Belichick is the most misunderstood person in all.
100%, 1,000%.
He dope as.
Yeah.
He is a cool dude. He understands the game. He's like an historian of the game.
Yeah.
And for you to just sit down and chat with him, like, it's like, damn, like he's going back and he's got film, like literally teaching the game. Yeah. Like,
what's his right-hand man name?
Ernie.
Hey.
Earned. I mean, he's a genius.
I cannot wait for the rap album. Bill Belichick, Dope MC. Or Josh Daniels, Dope OC. You get it. Sometimes when you're drowning, you reach. It's a survival tactic. As you heard earlier, Bill's concerned about Cam's arm. Guess what? Everybody who could hear my voice is concerned about Cam's arm. So the talk about Cam coming back and playing and everything, and no. I've been adamant about that. Hey, maybe as a backup could be a mentor to someone that comes in, but starting, no. But still, Cam believes that he can overcome some of the obstacles from last season.
By the time I came back, I didn't feel comfortable.
Physically.
Skillfully. And a lot of that discomfort came pre-snap. I've always valued my talents as something that's the improv. Like, I'm going to make a play. I know how to make a play. I'm going, in this system, it dictates, by certain things and working extra with, Josh. Throughout those times, there was times where it's just like, hold on, set Wadidi. Hold on, am I supposed to set Wadidi? And I'm like lost of, hold on, I'm thinking too much. Yeah. The offense kept going, and I was stopped and stagnant for a week, 2 weeks. And then by the time I came back, it was new terminology and it was new. I was like, hold on. But go back to level one. I wasn't just trying to learn a system for what it was. I was learning let's be honest, a 20-year system.
Correct.
In 2 months. Correct.
I thought it was 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it changed. Or did it? Cam said, I was lost. There were things going on pre-snap. You lost. Bill has finally shown a card and said, allegedly, reportedly, Cam, I'm concerned about your arm. That still gets me right there. There was new terms 2 weeks later. Really? We didn't see Jarrett Stidham in there. Really? Cam, I love you, but sometimes you just see the end of greatness happening in front of your eyes. Cam's not a starter anymore. In fact, I've been saying that for a couple of weeks, but sometimes when you hear someone on television, you hear say it, then you're like, oh, I think that guy late at night said it. Here's what Dan Orlovsky said on ESPN.
I don't think there's Cam as a starter in the NFL. I think that most teams in the NFL are, one, set with who their guy is, and then two, they're looking into this draft or trying to make a trade to upgrade at the position. Everyone's trying to get a great quarterback, not a serviceable or bridge quarterback. And we've got to be honest, the last two if this season were not good for Cam Newton. And so you'd have to be very much so rolling the dice, because you'd be going off of half a season that looked somewhat promising and nothing the year before. And so there's no organization in the NFL that is going to sit there and go, let's bring in Cam Newton. He's our starting quarterback. I think that Cam is going to have the opportunity to be on a roster again and be a part of someone's organization. And I said during the season, I'd absolutely love to have him, because I think of his mentorship and leadership to the football team. But I think New England has to be honest with itself and going, we used to sit at the top of the mountain. We don't anymore. How do we get back at the quarterback spot?
I've been honest with you. I've been here for like a month and a half. I've been in the market for several years. So I've been seeing these things. I'm not this guy who just showed up in New England and happened to watch football games. No, I was right there with you at home. That's probably been the fortunate thing for Cam. There's nobody in the stadium. My gosh, the QBR, 82? That can't be right. Yeah. This is a guy who's clearly not starter material in the NFL anymore. And for Bill Belichick, a person who is notorious for giving you no information, no answers, no idea, maybe a huff and a puff you can gauge from. You heard Ben Volen earlier on Greg Hill, as I just played it a few minutes ago, that the word is Bill is concerned about Cam's arm. But
he obviously does not have a whole lot left, not a whole lot of juice left in that shoulder.
Yeah. He wanted all the juice, for those who've seen the movie Juice. That's like the critical point of the movie, where Omar Epps cuts back and forth this song. He wanted all the juice, and they just say, turn the juice off. Cam's arm, the juice, is off. As a backup, as a mentor, as a leader, as an encourager, I don't think Cam would be anything more than, but he could be very good at that. And Cam has to decide if his super ego. Now, my minor's in psychology. Brian D. Felice, how you doing?
KJ, how are you doing?
And great. I have so many Brians in my life. My best man's name is Brian. My god brother's name is Brian. You're Brian too. So if I can,
and Brian Barrett,
unless
that's the guy who was in your wedding.
Shh. We don't discuss personal things on the air. I'm kidding. But Brian, what's fascinating about the Cam Newton situation is here you have a guy whose super ego is starting to get in the way of his ego. Now, most people have not heard the term super ego. Let me break it down for you quickly to understand. There's the id, the ego, and the super ego. The id is like, okay, I'm a human being. I'm made up of cells. Pretty low on the self-esteem chart. Then there's the word ego, which most people use incorrectly, but ego is, my name is KJ. It's not egotistical. But the super ego says, there's not 32 quarterbacks better than me in the NFL. Cam, the super ego's talking. And you did so well. I knew when he started underdressing when he came here, it was like he had to prove something. Then right before he did the I Am Athlete podcast, he puts out, there's a story comes out. Cam is going to cut back on spending on clothes. The first thing I told friends of mine is he's getting ready to be a backup. What backup dresses like a pimp? Not the backup pimp. Cam, be okay with being a backup. Be okay with getting maybe even the same amount of money you got last year for the performance you got to be a great supporting role in this system. They always say a quarterback is a hit away. If there's a picture in the dictionary of that, it's got Tom Brady in it, standing on a sideline. Now, I'm not saying you're going to come back and beat Tom Brady. I'm not that crazy. No, close. But if it comes down to the Patriots are down by 6, the starting quarterback, whoever it is, gets nicked up or has to go in for concussion protocol, I think the fan base and the team trust you to be able to either manage the game and maintain the win or go get the win. It's just taking the first rep snaps and then doing that in the game has been the issue. 617-779-7937 or at the text line 37937. It's KJ Late Night talking Bill, talking Cam, talking the quarterback of the future. Plus, we're going to play a little betting game here in the next hour where I'm not going to use my real money because my real money is being burnt on DFS right now. Like I'm really trusting a bunch of Hornets players tonight. Maybe I'm not really caring about my money. But in the next segment, I'll give you the odds of some of these names of quarterbacks that are showing up, and you'll have to decide, do you want to spend the money and be right or be right and not make any money off of the bet? Now, it's not real money. It's monopoly money. I'll tell you right now, Cam's odds are crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm like, what? Why? That good of an odd? It's better than Deshaun Watson's odd, which is odd. Okay, I'll get off the word odd. But Cam, you need to let the super ego go. I think you're totally welcome back as a backup.
He has no interest in it, though. He told the Greg
That's
Hill,
the super ego.
Yeah, and so that's the problem. And when he says, just so we clarify, when he says there's not 32 quarterbacks better than me,
There might be 35 better than
maybe
him.
he was being you're self-deprecating.
So we're like, okay, we go through all 32 teams. All right, now let's go through their backups. Let's see. Mariota. There's not 33 quarterbacks better than me. All right, let's go through some more. Deshaun Kaiser. Okay, you might have that one. I'm kidding. But let the super ego go, Cam. Come back. You can still be an asset to this team. Part of being part of the Patriots nation is allowing yourself to be part of these interviews. And sometimes you want to protect a brand new quarterback coming to town. You can handle those things.
See, I think he'd rather leave the league altogether than be a backup. I think he'd rather go into broadcasting or be an analyst.
Well, here's a
like
good
that.
practice. This is a great practice.
Or maybe fashion.
To the eye of the beholder who you're selling it to, right? Like, would I buy one of his suits? Probably not. But that could be part of my physique. You know, he'd need like a tall man. Well, he's tall like me.
His own hat.
Nick Lopan next to me is telling me that Cam's currently selling hats, his own hat brand.
His own hat brand? Let me guess, it has a hole in the arm? I'm kidding. Would you like a bowl of soup with that hat, sir? Or a touchdown? I'll take the touchdown. You keep the soup. Plus, chowder is not red, it's white. I don't know where you get that idea from. But Cam Newton as a backup quarterback for the New England Patriots makes a lot of sense. You're talking about the system and really getting into it. This is a chance for you to potentially take yourself to another level. Maybe broadcasting, as was mentioned here. You did a wonderful job with Greg Hill this year because so many people sat by the radios like it was World War II. What is Eisenhower going to say? Okay, for a younger generation, Eisenhower was president like 4 presidents before I was born, but I paid attention in history and knew that he was around during World War II. Google it. But we sat around the radio to hear, are we going to get the Cam that we heard about? The one we saw pouting at the Super Bowl? Nope. This is the happiest 7-9 quarterback I'd ever heard in my life. But now is the time where you learn how to teach, to instruct, to share your eyes of what you've seen in the league. Now, I personally think it'd be a free agent that comes in. He may want to compete. And if I'm Bill, okay, I lie to him. I say, I'll give you $2